Hey guys, welcome back to my studio. We're going to do a Doctor Who painting today. Most of the stuff I do, if I use a stencil, will just be a solid black, but luckily with the Tardis, you know, just a little shade of the blue, it doesn't look off. Usually I don't like adding colors because I like the idea of it to be like you're looking at something with a light source behind it, and it's just kind of just the outline, and that's the way I kind of like my style. I don't like using solid colors in my stencils because it looks just off. I kind of think about using stencils with spray paint, and the thing I kind of gets a little frustrating. Someone's like, oh, it's just stencils, whatever. If you use stencils in spray paint art, and the rest of your art doesn't match up to the clean lines and solid image of it, it's all going to look like shit. You can have a really amazing stencil, and if your background and the theme that you put around it is terrible, or is rough, or doesn't work, it's not going to look good. I've been doing this for 12 years now, as a full-time job, and I didn't start using stencils until 6 or 7 years into that, I think, somewhere around there. And I'm glad I didn't, and that wasn't my purpose, because there's really no set way to teach this. There were a few people doing it online, but not really teaching that side of it as much. So it was just by accident that I didn't. When I first started, I thought it was cheating, which is what a lot of comments will say. But it's not. It's just another part of the art style. But luckily, because I waited so long, the rest of my stuff kind of got up to snuff and could kind of match with the stencil I started using. And then I started using more complicated stuff, and I got quite lucky with how I developed my skills. And usually when people ask me for advice, that's the first thing I say, because most people, if you see me at a live event, I've got 7,000 or 8,000 stencils that I use, and most people see that and assume it's the most important part of doing this kind of art, but it's really not. It's the very last thing you should think of. And realistically, you can do most things by hand that you could use a stencil for. The reason I do is because I'm a speed painter, and I'm painting at events, and anything to shave a little time off, I'm happy with, and I can still match the style in the rest of what I'm doing. And I can hear some of you groaning right now about the planets, because that is another thing you see a lot with spray paint art, is it's a lot of planet stuff. And there's a reason for that. One, looks cool. Two, it's how most people learn how to do this style. Most people learn this by doing space, doing planets, and it's good because it teaches you shadowing, shading, highlighting, it teaches you perspective, it teaches you how to make things pop out in 3D, and when it comes down to it, it's a lot of what this style is known for, which means it's a lot of what people ask you for. So if you're not able to do that and you only do nature stuff, that's great, all the more power to you, but there's no reason not to do it, and there's no reason to be upset that someone doesn't. I get the boredom of it after a while, which is why that's not all I do, but I still can and will do it when asked to. Obviously, from that little mini range, I get that comment a lot on my stuff that goes viral. It's either like, oh, it's planets, or thank goodness it's not one with planets, which I do understand that complaint. I really do. But there's nothing wrong with doing planets. And again, it's how you learn most stuff. And the problem is that a lot of people will learn that and then stick with that and only do that because it is, once you know how to do it, one of the easier things to do because it's beginner level stuff. And it's always okay to keep doing it, but you should definitely try to branch out and do more fun stuff with this. There's a lot you can do with spray paint art. It's not just limited to space and planets and that kind of thing. I know a few guys down south who can do amazing portraits in the style, and yeah, there's a lot. It's a paint medium. It's not a gimmick or a trick. It's a different medium to use, and you can choose to do whatever you want with it. I choose to do mainly landscapes and a little bit of character work, but more like action poses, that kind of stuff, than like close-up detail. Which, for me, I like it. That's my style. And every artist is going to have their own style. Alright, and that's my Doctor Who painting. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope to see your comments. I will try doing more of these. Let me know what you'd like to see next, and later.